What's up, guys? So in this video, we're going to be going over the ads manager. So within the business manager, you're going to have all these ad accounts. Now we're going to go over here and do the ads manager, or if we click on one of these accounts, we're going to get taken to the ads manager. So I'm going to click on my own account and see, as you can see, we got taken to the ads manager account here. So I'm going to give you guys an introduction on what this is, because it can look really confusing at first, but once you get to know it, you're going to love it. Honestly, it's so much simpler than Google AdWords, so I'm really happy to say that, because honestly, it's so much easier. But so basically, you can choose your ad account from here. You can type in the name, search it. I kind of have a lot, so sometimes I have to search it. But if you guys are starting out, you can probably just scroll through them. But anyways, this is basically your ads manager, just dashboard as a whole. So you have your campaigns and your ad sets and your ads. We should have talked about this earlier. Facebook ads kind of work like a tree. So first you have your campaigns, then you have your ad set, then you have your ads. So let's kind of show you guys what that might look like. So you click on one campaign, and then it'll open up all the ad sets for that campaign. So as you can see, I have 3 ad sets. So the ad sets is kind of like what you're doing for the targeting for the most part. The campaigns is basically just like the campaign, what your objective is for the most part. And then you got the ads, which is the actual like ad copy, things like that. Okay, so that's these 3 columns here, and this is how you do it. So how do you analyze an ad? Well, you kind of have these, so you have these results right here on what's an ad. So maybe I want to see what, I'm going to go to lifetime so you guys can see like actual results of ads, kind of give you some numbers. But what do you want? What if you want to see the cost per lead or something like that? Let's see if the cost per lead. So this one actually doesn't have a lead, but we can actually pull up over here. If there's not the column that you want, there's so many different options. You can look through this. You can see the cost per like, the cost per engagement, so many different things. You can search them up here. But let's say we want to do cost per lead. Well, not cost per lead form. So let's do lead. So website lead, cost per website lead. And move my head out of the way and insert. So now as you can see, we have website lead. Let's also add cost per click or cost per unique click, but this is okay. See, 25 cents. You can see all these. So you're gonna have to pull up some of these. You can save custom columns. You can these are presets, so these will set different columns. So you want to see performance and clicks, you can switch to this. That just might make it a little bit faster. Or you can set a custom one. You can customize the columns and set a custom one so that it kind of stays that way as well. So over here you have the overall the time span that you're looking at. So most of the time I go by this month if I'm working with active clients, and kind of do it that way, or I might do even like this week or last 7 days. There's so many different options, or you might even do a custom. I always change this. This is always changing. There's not like one thing I only look at. So what else we got here? That's pretty much it for the most part. You start a campaign here, or you can create an ad. That's about it for this. So let's walk through the rest. So page post, this is an important page that I do use pretty often. I can talk about this when creating ads, but I do want to mention this now. So you're going to go to this page post thing, and this is a very important page actually, and I'll tell you why in a second. So you're going to learn how to create ads in a second, but these post IDs, so every time you create an ad, it's going to pop up in here, the post ID. So if you're creating another ad, you're going to want to copy this post ID, and let me show you here in a sec. You're going to want to copy this post ID, and let's say you're making the same ad a couple different times, but you're doing different targeting for each ad. This is very important. So what you're going to do here is you're going to go to, okay, it's actually not showing up on this ad specifically because it's not applicable. So let me get up a different one for you guys. Let's pull up this one here. This one should be good. Okay, so you do use existing posts. So the reason for doing this, and I don't mean to confuse you guys or get too far ahead of yourself, but I'm just going to make everything super clear. You're going to understand this in a second, so don't worry about creating the actual ads. This is just to get in your mind right now. Let's say you are doing multiple ads. Like you're doing the same ad, the same picture. You're doing the same exact ad, you're doing the same video, the same ad copy, but you want to test between different audiences. What you're going to do is, instead of just duplicating, and don't worry, I'm going to talk about that in a sec. Instead of just duplicating the ones and getting the same thing, what's going to happen is every time you duplicate that and you try to split test it, it's going to make a new page post every time. but you do not want that. The reason being is because each of these page posts that are in here are going to have their own amount of likes and comments and everything. So when you think about it, you want, even if you're doing different targeting, you still want all the ads to be the same so that all the likes and the comments are building up in one, so it has more social proof. So the way you do that is if you're making multiple ads, you need to use that little post ID number and put it in here and do it that way. I'm not going to submit because I don't want to do that, but you submit it in here and you make sure all of your ads have that number submitted so that all of the traffic, all of the people are getting sent to the same ad, and they're not getting sent to 3 different ads, because every time you duplicate it, it creates a new one. You want to send people to the same one. So that's kind of a trick there. That's very key that not very many people know or teach that I've seen. So what else do we got here? We got the Power Editor, which I'll go over in a sec here. Audience Insights is pretty valuable. This can be valuable. The main way I use this is to come up with new audiences. The main way I use this really is to, if I have an audience in mind and I want to figure out a cheaper way to target them, this is the main way I use this. Honestly, this isn't that useful in the way that we're going to do this for local businesses, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this right now, but if you guys have any questions, I'll do a live on this in the course group. So this, yeah, like I said, that's basically what it does. So you can plug in your interest here and kind of get the age ranges and et cetera, et cetera. So what else do we have here? We have the Power Editor. These are not that important. Of course, they're all important, but pixels are important, but we'll go over that later. Audiences can be pretty helpful as well. So that's where you pull up, when you create an audience, a custom audience, they'll all show up in here. Catalogs is an advanced feature. Settings is kind of important, I guess. Of course, billing is pretty self-explanatory. Settings is pretty simple as well, but I'll just go through it real quickly with you guys. So let's go back to the Ads Manager because I want to show you guys a couple more things, I think. All right. So yeah, we're going to go to the Power Editor now and kind of walk you guys through that. And the difference between for the most part, I use the regular Ads Manager way more than the Power Editor. Now, some people do only their work in the Power Editor and they swear by the Power Editor, but in my opinion, it's just a lot faster for the most scenarios. But really, the Power Editor, it just allows you, if you're trying to do a lot of split testing or trying to, like, for example, if you are trying to, let's say you create and we're going to talk about this in a sec. Let's say you create a conversion campaign, so you're going for leads, and you start to figure out that you don't actually want to do conversions, you want to do traffic. Well, in the Ads Manager, you'd have to remake everything, but in the Power Editor, you can move it to a new campaign. So that's kind of some features that you kind of add some abilities in the Power Editor. It's kind of the same concept. It just allows you to edit things more in a bulk fashion in a way. So that's the best way I can explain it. And there's so many different scenarios you can have with it, which I'm not really going to go over because I just want to get you guys straight to the point, get you focused on what you need to know. So let's go back to the Ads Manager to see if those settings loaded up. Unfortunately, the settings didn't load up, but one thing that I will mention, something that you will need to, like, you have your I wanted to mention that your ad account number shows up here. It shows up here in the column in case you ever need to share your ad account number with someone to give them access. So settings aren't loading up, but that is pretty much it for the video. The settings are pretty self-explanatory for the most part. So of course, if you guys have any other questions or you come across any problems, this should be pretty simple to understand. But let me actually go over duplicating ads real quick as well, so that you can learn how to split test. Actually, let's leave that for another video. We're going to do this on how to split test and optimize your ads. We'll go over that in that video. But besides that, see you guys in the next video.